McKellar tea and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Lady Overlander Radio podcast is available live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also catch the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms. Enjoy the show. Hey, Arla. Hey, girl. Hey.
Girl, hey.
How you doing?
Girl, I'm in a whirlwind today. It's been meeting central. I'm still in my big girl outfit from work, and I've got a terrible sunburn on top of that because, I've only been tanning for 2 months, and then I went and floated the river, and somehow it ended up being a 12 mile that I was not aware of was a 12 mile. I thought it was a 4 whenever I was talked into going.
Wow.
I feel like I was misled, and I'm not that athletic. You feel me?
Oh, yeah. I bet your legs are sunburned so bad.
Yeah. It was still fun, but there was a lot of wind and there was a lot of work. Somebody paddled a lot, and it was me.
And you didn't like that?
No, you have muscles in your arms. That is new for me.
That's good, though. It's good. Get you some buff shoulders and
all the cardio. I'm good for 2 weeks.
Cardio. That's funny.
2 weeks. Yeah.
So that's what you did this weekend?
That's what I did this weekend. What did you do? I see this new Coast shirt on over you that you got.
Yeah, let me get over here.
Work it. Yeah.
So we went to George's Majestic Lounge in Fayetteville.
Yep.
And we watched the Nuco Band, and we watched Magnolia Brown, and another guy, Taylor Smith, I think was his name. All of them were excellent bands. Nice. Fantastic. Nuco Band, it basically comes from Newton County, which is the county I live in. Yep. They're a local band here that very popular around here, and a lot of people they have a pretty good following. So
I remember seeing them at the Jasper Jeep Camp. They played.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They're really good. Great guys.
Aren't
great
they just
music.
Out of high school? Like they're young.
Yeah. Some of them are out of high school. Some of them are young. One of them's a music teacher at the local school here. Yeah. Very, very cool band. And they gave me a shirt. I love it.
And they gave me the shirt.
Band. And cute. I got earrings. I got earrings that say Nuco.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Earrings that say Nuco. We need Lady Overlander Radio earrings or something.
We do. You guys let us know if you want us to get Lady Overlander Radio earrings. We will make it happen.
Yes.
I like it.
Hell yes. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited now. We can talk to Tammy about that. What do you think?
Hell yeah. Yes. Tammy will make it happen.
I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
Okay.
So I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of things coming up.
Yeah, we do. We have Saturday, I have the very first Warriors in the Wild Veterans event all day. And then my family and I hit the road, and we're going to be heading up to the Pacific Northwest, and I'll be at Overland Expo PNW. And you will be with Feral Chick Outdoors doing some ladies campouts and bonfire. You got a really busy month too.
Sure do. Yeah. I think this weekend, Jesse and I are going to run a trail for the camp out on the first weekend, the first one, the 7th, 7th, 8th. And then, of course, the 8th will end up at Bonfire because that was rescheduled because of weather. So we'll end up there. And then the next weekend is Father's Day, so probably won't be doing much of, we'll be doing the dad stuff. And then the next weekend, the 21st, is our other one with Feral Chick Outdoors. So basically, we're doing the divide and conquer thing.
We are
what we're doing. We just fake it till we make it. People, come on.
We're all over the U.S. You can catch us everywhere.
We are worldwide, not prestige worldwide, but we're worldwide.
Worldwide, baby.
I think in June there's a Onyx off-road class, like the end of July with that Feral Chick Outdoors is putting on, and I think Tony from Bats Off Road is leading that class. It's pretty
Who's
cool.
that guy?
I don't know. I never heard of her. August, there's a couple of wrenching classes for Lady Overlander Radio. It's going to be doing that at Okie Overland. That navigation class in July is also at Okie Overland.
Yeah.
There's our girl Jessie from Feral Chick Outdoors right there chiming in.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Yeah.
You know, September's pretty full. September, we've got, jeez, mercy. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, we've got Big Iron. We've got
Big Iron. We got Overland America.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
15th, 13th through the 15th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just going to keep saying it every week. That venue is all full. Yeah, girl. That venue it's going to be so fun. Like, you guys got to get in on that one for sure.
Yeah, I really do think we need to hold Ladies Overland Lounge classes on the lazy river.
Aren't we doing that? Do you know that we could get motorized little floaty tubes? You turn them and stuff. They sell those.
Motorized?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'm just telling you so we get on this Amazon. Yeah. Overland America, I'm in. Yes, you should be in. So we got that. Girl. Big Iron, which is another one of my favorites. Just, you know, chill. It's at Big Brutus up in West Mineral, Kansas. Just a big music festival and a hangout. Just, you know, just a couple of vendors. It's pretty low key, but it's a lot of fun. October, we've got our Feralology ladies event in Jasper, Arkansas. Tickets are still available for that. So better snatch those up. We've got Rendezvous in the Ozarks as well. Like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. There's just so many things on the calendar right now.
I know.
It's hard to remember by memory.
I should have planned ahead and popped the calendar up, and I didn't do it this time. But
I'm winging it. I'm winging it.
Yeah.
I'm winging it. But there's a lot of events, so get out and come see us at some of those. We're going to be doing also at Rendezvous. We're going to have a Lady Overlander Lounge there, as well as Overland America. We're going to lead a couple of trail rides. We signed up with Randy with Rendezvous of the Ozarks, and we're going to lead a couple of female trail rides and do that as well. So lots of things going on, people. They make motorized floaty tube things with a water cannon built in. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And there's a little joystick, and dude, I saw them on the TikTok.
On the Tickety Talk?
You know how I'm about the TikTok.
Yeah, I like
bonfire.
it. I like
we done talked about bonfire. Bonfire is a chill, what it is bonfire and a camp out for one night.
And that's June 8th.
That is June 8th.
Okay. Not to be confused with some other
date. That's going to be pretty fun too, and that's part of our first girls trip for June.
We're busy.
Incorporated. Yeah. I'm praying for not super hot heat, or I'm going to have to bring the zero breeze. I'm not going to lie.
Bring it, girl. Bring it.
Anywho, enough about us. Who do we got tonight? Who's our guest?
We have Sarah McKellar, Wandering Jeepsy. She is also going to be one of the storytellers at Overland of America. So you guys can go by and chat with her and learn. We're going to talk about her story tonight, and then you'll be able to ask her further follow-on questions and everything at Overland of America. So I'm pretty excited about that. She's pretty awesome. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. There she is.
Hey.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, girl.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good. We see you guys checked into your Airbnb and everything else. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us and everything.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So why don't you go ahead and give the audience a little, kind of a little background on yourself, and then we'll roll right into the show.
All right. Let's see. July 1st will be 3 years that I've been traveling full time on the road, living in nature. The first year I was towing a 16-foot travel trailer behind my Jeep Wrangler. That was a lot of stress on me and a lot of stress on the Jeep, because we all know that Jeeps suck when it comes to towing. Horrible. So I decided to take out the back seat of my Jeep and build out the inside and try that out. And obviously that was a lot less stressful on me and the Jeep. So for the last 2 years, I've literally just been living inside of my Jeep and just traveling around the States, exploring nature. And I've done 27 states so far, I think. So
Nice.
yeah, so normally I stay in the middle of nature, sleeping in my Jeep, but right now I'm in an Airbnb because it is my birthday weekend and I have family. I know, yay, 21 years old.
Yeah, girl,
yeah,
work
girl.
it.
I have family flying in right now to come be with me for my birthday. So obviously
awesome.
they can't sleep in the back of my Jeep, so we had to get a house.
Yeah,
Too crowded.
it would be a little bit tight squeeze there.
Jesse with Feral Chick Outdoors says happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
It's really not my 21st birthday either, so
yes,
we got to add it
yes,
up.
It is.
Okay, yeah.
It is. Mm-hmm. Fire a drink, everybody.
That's right.
I don't know you,
My
but
husband
Merry
always
birthday.
says, I'm 25 on YouTube. I'm like, okay, honey, that's
Sure you are.
That's not real.
Yeah, and then YouTube. So then I started a YouTube channel and it kind of just blew up last year. So in the beginning of my travels, I was stopping and picking up seasonal work because my savings wasn't going to last forever. So so I was picking up seasonal work. The last seasonal job that I picked up, I got lucky. It was at a 4x4 shop in Moab.
Awesome.
Nice.
That would be fun.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
But now since the YouTube channel and the social media kind of blew up last year, now I don't have to stop and pick up that seasonal work, and it kind of pays for me to be able to do this full time now. Thank God.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you find you still need to like budget yourself, or you kind of you comfortable?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not making the big bucks yet off of social media. So I live very minimalist. Living in the middle of nature. A lot of times I camp on BLM land, which is free public land. So that saves me a lot of money right there. The first 2 years of me traveling, I still had a Jeep payment, but because I was penny pinching and living very minimalist and putting everything into my savings, I was able to pay off my Jeep last year.
Nice.
So that was my biggest payment that I had. Being on the road. So now my biggest payment that I have being on the road is the gas.
Yeah. Awful.
Oh yeah. Gas is crazy. Always.
I don't know how people that do it full time can afford the gas part, honestly. I don't.
Well, I mean,
I had a couple upgrades, like I get about 16, 17 miles per gallon right now.
I get 13.
Which I think is pretty decent for a
that
Jeep.
Is decent, yeah.
That's pretty decent. That's what I said. I have a Jeep and I get 13.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when you're going full time, you're camping a lot. So you may get to a camping spot and stay there for several days. So you're not really driving every day. Like when we go on trips with some other friends and stuff, they want to move every day because they only have a short period of time that they can be out, and then they've got to go back to their houses and work and stuff. But when we were full time, we could sit somewhere for a week or two and then move on somewhere else. So you really can save a lot of money if you do it right.
Yeah, of course. Now last year I got really excited and everything, and I was just booking it and going to all these places. I literally put 33,000 miles on my Jeep last year from going all over the place. This year, I'm taking it a lot slower, lot slower. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about your Jeep build, if you don't mind.
So I have a 2015 Jeep Sports Unlimited, Jeep Wrangler Sports Unlimited. She originally was built out to be a rock crawler. I used to do a lot of rock crawling way before I started traveling. So obviously a rock crawler build is not good for traveling full time. So I used to have 40s on my and that was one of the hardest things for me to get rid of, was those 40-inch tires. So So I had to compromise and I went with 37s. So I do have a 37s. I have a 3.5-inch metal cloak lift. I did some upgrades. Pretty much almost everything underneath the hood of my Jeep is upgraded except for the engine. I upgraded the coolant air intake system. I upgraded my exhaust system, the fan, the thermostat, just everything to help me get better gas mileage.
Yeah.
And then I there's like a list of long things. I mean, like honestly, it was majority of the build was from my rock crawling days, So, and now I have for overlanding, I have one of the 270-degree awnings on my Jeep. I don't have a rooftop tent like a lot of overlanders do. And the reason why I don't have a rooftop tent is because I am a solo female traveler. And me personally, I feel a lot safer sleeping inside of my Jeep with my alarms on than I do in a rooftop tent. So I built out the inside of my Jeep. I put a platform back there. I have a bed, I have a fridge, a freezer, solar, storage containers. And then I have the Roam storage cases on top of my Jeep, which I actually need those more than I do a rooftop tent, to be honest with you. So, because everything I own now is inside that Jeep.
Yeah. We both, Arla and I both sleep in our rigs as well. I do like it a lot better. Yeah. I have a 4Runner and she has a Jeep as well, but we both sleep in our rigs.
I also have a trailer with a rooftop tent. I'll take out, if the kids are going and husband and all that stuff like that. I'll take that. But for doing the girls' trips, like what we have coming up, we do that. And Misty did hers first, and I kind of liked the way that whole setup was. I thought that'd be easier than me messing with the trailer and rooftop tent, especially if you're on a trail, and trying to navigate that and whatnot. And so I kind of steered in that path also. It's pretty cozy. It's not bad.
Yeah. I haven't met a whole lot of people that sleep inside their rigs. They have the rooftop tent or they have the little, teardrop trailer or something behind them. I mean, I wish that I could sleep in the rooftop tent, but realistically, the world that we live in, I feel safer being inside the Jeep.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally okay. Yeah, for sure. For bears or people or whatever.
Yeah. Safety is a big thing for women whenever they're out, when they're out by themselves and whatnot. I mean, if you got a weird feeling in your gut, then you better follow that.
Yep.
Haley or Ashley or both.
So why don't you give us a little bit of insight as to why you started overlanding full time? I know you've had some things that happened in the past, and
so is it okay to mention that?
It's absolutely okay to mention whatever you're comfortable with.
We're good.
Okay. So so I had a 10-year career in Las Vegas. I'm not originally from Vegas. I'm originally from Georgia, but I lived in Vegas for 16 years and I had a great 10-year job there, great career. I went through some kind of difficult times. My father had dementia and I moved him into the house with me and was taking care of my dad with dementia. One night I came home from work and he committed suicide in front of me. So basically he shot and killed himself in front of me.
Wow.
2 months after that, one of my really good friends, Kimmy, she had a stroke and was in a coma on life support. Her mom called me to come up there to the hospital because they were taking her off life support. As soon as I walked into the hospital and grabbed her hand, she took her last breath. So then a month and a half after that, my best friend in the whole entire world that had been battling pancreatic cancer, this was expected, but he was down to his last couple of weeks. I took off work, went and stayed with him for those 2 weeks, and I was laying in the bed with him when he took his last breath. So all that happened within 5 months. So
Wow.
I sunk into a huge depression, went into a huge hole, and it was difficult. I mean, especially dealing with the dad's, what happened with my father. So
Yeah.
so then I started engulfing myself into work. I ran a bar in Vegas. So I was up there 7 days a week, working 12-hour shifts sometimes. I just didn't want to be at home by myself. Um, so then I went to this Jeep event in Sedona, where I just came from. I was just in Sedona. I went to this Jeep event in Sedona, and we were up on this mountain, the people that I was with, and some girl comes pulling up in a 4Runner, and she lives in her 4Runner and travels around the States. And she just started talking to me, and I swear, I feel like the universe puts people in front of you for a reason. I didn't even tell this lady anything that I was going through. And she starts telling me that the reason why she started traveling is because her brother committed suicide. And nature was her therapy, and she always felt at peace with nature. And I'm like, holy moly, like, this is crazy. So then I tell her about me, and then I'm like, I've been an avid hiker for over a decade, camping. I've had the Jeep and been off-roading for about 7 years now. And the outdoors has always been my therapy. And so I'm like, maybe this is a sign, and maybe this is what I need to do, because honestly, I was going to have a mental breakdown eventually. So I went back and I gave the owners of my bar a 6-month notice. And I was like, I got 6 months to change my mind or 6 months to figure it out. And 6 months later, I just got on the road and just started traveling. Totally didn't know what I was doing, new to the whole thing. Obviously figured it out, because I'm still doing it. And it was the best decision I ever made, because I took that first year of just being in nature and trying to get myself back better mentally and trying to deal with what I had just went through.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did for that first year. And after that first year, I did, I'm not going to say a 360 mentally, but I was definitely in a lot better place mentally. So definitely the best decision I ever made. I mean, honestly, if I would not have done this, I would have had a mental breakdown eventually.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know
yeah.
you had a parent that also had a drug issue, right? And then
Yeah. So when I first moved to Vegas 16 years ago, I actually moved to Vegas because I had just met my father for the first time. I'd never known him. I hired a private investigator to find him. And so I moved out to Vegas so I could have a relationship with him and get to know him and everything. So when I moved out to Vegas, I went out to Vegas acting like I was a whole different person. I hid my past. I never talked about my past. I was embarrassed by it. So I grew up in the foster care and group home system because my mother was a drug addict and an alcoholic. So for 14 years, from 3 to 17 years old, I grew up in the foster care and group home system because of that. And then I went through a lot of other stuff and everything. And so I was just always embarrassed by it. Now that I've been working on myself mentally since I've been out here on the road, now I share my life story and everything that I've gone through on my YouTube channel. And I share everything. It's the first time in 21 years.
that's right.
It's the first time my whole entire life that I've actually ever openly talked about what I've gone through. And so now I take that social media platform that I have, and I started sharing my story and everything that I've gone through in hopes that it would reach out to others. And the first time that I ever shared my story, you should have seen the emails that I got from, like, especially some of these ladies that emailed me, just talking about how they hid everything that they went through and stuff too. And, you know, now hearing my story, it's helped them. Then I started doing public motivational speaking events and just laying out my whole life at these public motivational speaking things. And, you know, to know that it's reaching out to others, it's almost therapeutic to me also. So it helps me also to be able to talk about it and get it out.
Now I know you also experienced a basically a sexual assault situation. How does that and I asked you before we started, everybody, I asked her if it was okay to talk about this stuff. So how does going out and traveling solo now, how do you kind of deal with that after what you've been through? And do you find that it really has no effect on you now, or is it
I'm always aware, and I'm probably extra aware. And that all goes to why I sleep inside my Jeep and not the rooftop tent or a tent on the ground, you know. So I'm over cautious and over paranoid, like, which is probably good, you know, but I am one of those over paranoid. I'm so over paranoid that when I do my research on these places that I'm going to, so let's say that I'm going to Oklahoma for the event. So say I'm going there. Well, I will do my research on what kind of crime is in Oklahoma. And I will also look up the crime in the surrounding areas. That's how over paranoid I am. But in the 3 years that I've been doing this, I've only had one incident with 3 guys. And I was pretty smart to get my Jeep and just haul-tail it out of there before it escalated. I do carry, I have protection, and then I have bear spray and all that other stuff. So, and then my aunt has a tracker on my phone. So she knows where I'm at 24/7.
Yeah, so, that's all of the things that we mentioned to ladies too. You know, trust your intuition. If you feel like something's off, there's no shame in leaving and finding somewhere else to camp or getting a hotel room for the night or whatever. You know, carry some type of protection, have an exit plan, know your surroundings. All the things that you just mentioned are all the things that we tell ladies all the time that are wanting to get into solo travel or even just traveling with their family. It's important, you know, because we've only ever had one. Go ahead.
When I get to the location that I'm camping at, before I set up camp, I will drive around the area too and scope out the whole area. So I think because of my past history and what I've been through with the, you know, rape and, you know, growing up in the group home system, which was pretty rough, just going through all that makes me more overcautious now, with especially the lifestyle that I'm doing.
Oh, absolutely. And do you still struggle with trying to like just decompress and relax, or do you find that being out in nature really helps you to do that a lot?
Oh, it does, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, it took me a while with my social media, YouTube. I felt like I needed to always be constantly filming everything and then editing and filming and editing. And so it got to the point one time last year that I was working almost 7 days a week. But now, then I started seeing myself get stressed. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, because stress will trigger my depression. So now I've figured it out as YouTube is my job, literally. And a regular job, people work 5 days a week and they have 2 days off. And so that's what I do now is I work 5 days a week and I give myself 2 days off, whether it's me go do a hike somewhere with no cameras or sit at my campsite and just take the nature in and enjoy it. But yeah, that took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah. And it's important because, you know, once your YouTube channel starts becoming more well-known and stuff, there's a lot of people reaching out to you for sponsorships. There's a lot of people wanting to ask you questions. And, you know, in addition to doing all the editing, then you've got all of the other aspect of it, you know, because it's your brand basically, and it is a job. So I totally get
I
it.
say this all the time on my channel, though. My mental self and my happiness comes first before any social media, before YouTube or anything. So my mental well-being is number one first. I started this traveling and started doing what I'm doing to work on myself and to be happy. So I'm not going to let my social media interfere with that.
Awesome. Sounds like you got a good work-life balance. That's great.
Yeah.
So if anybody in the audience would like to ask our guest any questions, please just pop them in the comments and Arla will put them up on the screen and we will ask her.
We do have Lee that said go dogs because you said Georgia.
That's right. Go dog.
Oh boy.
I have the Georgia Bulldogs logo tattooed on my leg.
Oh my goodness. You can take the girl out of Georgia, but you can't take Georgia out of the girl.
I know where I was born and raised. I'll never forget that.
Them Georgia peaches. We're both from Florida, so we're around there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm a Hurricanes fan. You don't have to worry about Gators here.
Oh, I don't support the Gators, girl. Not at all. No.
No. Me either. No.
It's Arkansas Razorbacks. I know. It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is.
And who is this you're petting?
This is my baby. She's I've had her since she was 3 months old, and she's 12 years old now. So she was a rescue, and she has smelled 27 states.
That's awesome.
Love it.
So she's definitely living her dream too, I think, because now she gets to be with her mama 24/7. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And who would want to be around a dog more than a human? Honestly.
Where's the toy?
No, it sounds like you're doing pretty good self-care with getting out into nature and having an animal with you. They're both very therapeutic, and that's great.
I have to say, it would probably get really lonely out here doing what I'm doing if I didn't have her
sort of
with
companion.
me.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
Having a dog or a pet definitely helps, because it does get lonely sometimes.
Yeah. So do you ever have any logistical issues with having an animal with you?
It does hold me back some.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not going to leave her in the Jeep while I go do things. I'm just not going to do it. So I can't do hot springs because I can't take her to the hot springs. There's a lot of like national parks and state parks where you cannot go hiking on the trails with a dog. I was in the Pacific Northwest for 3 months last summer, doing Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. And almost all the state parks and national parks that I went to in Oregon and Washington didn't allow her.
Wow.
And then shopping, like I order my groceries online and then go pick my groceries up, so I don't have to take her in the grocery store. There's a lot of things that I can't do and that holds me back because of her, but I don't regret any of it, so she's my number one. So she comes first. There's going to be plenty of more years and time that I can go and do all those things. So
awesome. So Casey with Okie Overland says, are you even overlanding if you don't have your dog? All true.
That's right.
That is true.
All true.
Absolutely. So what do you normally cook at camp, or do you normally just kind of eat out on the road and then set up camp?
So the one thing I told myself, because I know a lot of travelers, they kind of just live off of sandwiches and soups and, stuff like that, like the easy stuff. I've always loved to cook. Like I love to cook full-blown meals. So I do have a 2-burner Coleman stove. I have a jet boil, and I cook full-blown meals. I mean, every once in a while, there is times that I don't feel like cooking. So yeah, I'm going to have like a sandwich and soup or something. But otherwise, I cook. Like I just made jambalaya the other day. Like I cook full-blown meals.
Yum.
do you find it hard to cook for just one person? Or I guess you have leftovers, so the next day you might have jambalaya again. Just, you know.
So it's that was an adjustment, yes. That was definitely an adjustment. Like a pound of ground turkey, that's 2 meals for me. I just take it and cut it in half, you know, and half a pound is 1 meal.
Yeah.
So
what's your favorite things to make at camp?
What's that?
What's your favorite food to make?
So I love to make jambalaya. And then I have this Asian dish that I make. And this all goes with living on a budget too. It's basically a pack of ramen noodles, and you throw the seasoning pack away. And then I put a bunch of vegetables in it, and chicken or beef. And then I have an Asian sauce that I just toss the Asian sauce in. So it doesn't cost that much at all to make that.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds really good, actually.
I'm kind of hangry right now, so I'm just gonna sit over here and chew.
I haven't ate yet either, so.
So yeah, you just checked in right before we went live, and I know that you've got a couple of things they've got to come and work on in the Airbnb, and I really appreciate you being flexible and stuff and being able to do this, because I know it's stressful, trying to fit everything in. So
I'm glad you guys asked me to come on. So
yeah,
absolutely. We're excited to meet you in September in Jay.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys also. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a really fun venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be
they're because I think the storytellers are only speaking for 15 minutes each, but I think they're letting me speak for a whole hour.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to way or adjust our schedule to be able to.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. We need to make sure we're
we have a
not
lounge
doing
there,
another class.
So we're doing classes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to try to figure out whenever you're slated to do your stuff so we can sneak over.
I'm excited. Yeah. I just spoke at a overland event in Texas in November or September, October. I think it was September of last year. I spoke at an overlanding event there in Texas.
Awesome.
So what other events other than Overland of America are you going to be attending this year? Or is that pretty much it?
I don't really go to a whole lot of events. I'll be honest with you, since I've been traveling, and I know this is kind of weird because I was in the bar business for almost 30 years. I mean, 20 years.
Because you're 21.
Before you were old enough to drink.
So I was in the bar business for almost 30 years. So meaning I was very social. And since I've been on the road traveling, I kind of seclude myself away from society and people and everybody. Every once in a while, when I start getting that very lonely feeling, I will go stay in a campground and make friends, so I don't become feral. But now being around big crowds and stuff, my anxiety gets really, really bad. So, like the overland event that I went to in Texas, I had a friend that lived down there in Texas, and she came and camped with me the whole weekend, and she was standing right beside me while I spoke. So just having her there as that support system helped a lot. And then I have another friend that's going to be meeting me in Oklahoma, so I'll have her support system there also. But yeah, like I have my family's flying in right now. They'll be here on Friday, and we're going to a concert on Saturday. And I'm like, this is going to be,
that's people
tough. That's going to be very tough. So it's, I don't necessarily go out of my way to go to these events or anything, just because I'm by myself. And so going to these events by myself is overwhelming to me and makes my anxiety get really bad. So in the day, I would have been going to these events all the time and everything, but like I did it to myself. I secluded myself, and now I'm like not used to being around all these people anymore. So same with my dog,
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, those events, they are very overwhelming. overstimulating, all the things, anxiety, all of it. Like we went to several expos last year, and the first one we went to, I came home and I was like, talked to Misty, I'm like, oh, that was a lot, like on the go, thousands.
Well,
of
it was
people.
Overland Expo West, which is one of the biggest events. So we were like, holy moly.
I was like,
the one in Flagstaff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was literally an hour and a half away from that. An hour and a half. And I didn't, and I contemplated on going. And the only reason I didn't go was because I would have had to walk through the massive crowds of people by myself.
Yep.
That was the only reason I didn't go.
It's a lot.
I really wanted to go to that though, and then another thing too is like these overlanding events, if there's any guys watching, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say my apologies now. But we all know that this overlanding stuff is a predominantly male sport,
Right.
so we don't see a whole lot of females doing it, especially full time. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have been tested by fellow overlanders. Like I had 2 overlanders follow me on a highway, get off an exit and follow me into the gas station, and one was in a Jeep and one was in a 4Runner, and they were together. And they wanted to come up and talk to me about my Jeep, and then they questioned me about my tires. And they're like, oh, you do this full time with those big tires? And I'm like,
damn right.
Yep, I've done 20-something states with these big tires, and I've been doing this full time, for a couple years now. And so like the Overland event that I went to in Texas and spoke, it was kind of humorous. They had a whole bunch of chairs out and everything in front of me for people to sit on. And oh my God, there's a huge rabbit outside.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
2 of them. Oh, wow.
Aw.
So at that Overland event, when I was speaking, the people that were sitting in the chairs were all ladies or couples. And then in the way back behind all these chairs, you had all these guys just kind of standing around casually listening.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we started the Ladies Overland Lounge at these events, because and when we've actually had guys say to us, I really want my wife or my girlfriend to get involved in this. I really want her, to embrace this, but she doesn't want to listen to me because she's my wife or my girlfriend or whatever. And so we do basic education, overlanding 101 classes, hygiene, safety, all of these basic things that women have questions about. We kind of do those classes and teach them and empower them to go out on their own. And like I said before, we teach them, if you pull up somewhere and you don't feel safe, book it out of there. Use your intuition, trust yourself, make sure you can protect yourself, make sure you have an exit strategy. All the things I said before, it's all important stuff. And a lot of women are very intimidated by the concept of going out and doing that by themselves. And the first few times we were overlanding full time for 3 years by the time I first went off by myself. And the first time I went by myself, I was very anxious and overwhelmed and everything, because you just get used to, I got used to having my husband and my kids there. So it's a big adjustment even for somebody that was doing it full time. It's no joke, but
also, the lounge is also for ladies to come and network and just hang out, and you meet people that are like-minded, and then they want to go out on these little trips with you, and and
exactly,
they become your friends, and that becomes like your circle, because my circle is pretty small. I mean, it really is. So,
my circle has definitely gotten a lot smaller since I've started this traveling.
Sure.
But no, it's one of the reasons why I enjoy speaking at these events and these festivals, because I know there's a lot of ladies out there that wish that they could just go and do it by themselves. Right. And they're nervous or they're scared. And so I hope that they see me, little old me, out here doing it for almost 3 years now. And they say, well, she's been doing it for so long and full time, then maybe I should, can give it a shot. So,
Definitely.
I was definitely intimidated, scared, and nervous, and all those feelings in the beginning, I stayed in nothing but RV, but I also had the travel trailer in the beginning, and I stayed in nothing but RV parks, and I just, I did that for probably the first 8 months, nothing but RV parks, just because I was nervous to go out there in the middle of nowhere by myself, so.
Well, you tell these ladies, just get out and try it. You don't have to
Mhm.
have all the things. You just take some basic things and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, start out close to home, see what you need, what you don't need, adjust accordingly.
I mean, go try it out in a campground at first. Go find you a campground that isn't like overpacked. They're out there.
Oh yeah.
Go find you a campground that isn't overpacked and try it out for a couple of days in an actual campground, and then go try it out in the middle of nowhere by yourself. So,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's nothing like the solitude and the peacefulness you get out there by yourself. It's amazing.
Not at all.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed to be able to do this full time now.
So if looking back, let's say back to when you were about 12 or 13 years old, what would you tell your 12 or 13-year-old self, knowing all the things that you've gone through and all the things that you know now? What would you tell her?
I just got into the outdoor stuff probably about 11 or 12 years ago. So I would definitely probably tell my 12 or 13-year-old self to go get outdoors more.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that. About 12 years ago, if you would ask me to go camping or to go hiking, I would have laughed at you. And I would have said, no, I'm going to go get a hotel room. So I definitely think the outdoors, getting people's kids out in the outdoors and having them do outdoor activities, I think is definitely a smart thing to do for your kids. Instead of them sitting there playing video games, or in my incident, and I shared this on my channel also, because I grew up in the foster care and group home system, and I didn't have that actual family. When I was a teenager, I was in gangs. So that was my fun, was to go be in a gang and go fight other people and go do bad stuff, so.
But I mean, to be fair, gangs, even though they're, not advisable, they still are a type of family. They have a hierarchy, they have roles, and I can see you were probably searching for that connection with other people, and that's probably why you ended up, I'm assuming, joining gangs.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I know it was, because I never had that established family, and I thought that I had it with them. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get out of that life, because it's not very easy to do.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it took me going to jail at 18 years old, and going to jail for almost, I think I was in there for 8 months.
Oof.
And that was a big wake up call for me. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
Absolutely. So other than hitting Overland of America, what other plans do you have this up for 2024? Are you going to be going on any special trips or doing any meetups with anybody or anything like that?
Let's see. I do have my this month right here has been kind of crazy for me. So I have been around a lot of people this month. I just left Sedona. Once a year since I've left Vegas, some of my Jeep family come and meet me somewhere, and we all camp together and then go hit a trail or something. And so I was just in Sedona with 17 Jeeps, and we went and did a trail that was 7 hours long. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a whole day.
But when you get 17 Jeeps together doing one trail, then of course it's going to take a lot longer.
Right.
So it was nice being able to see my friends from Vegas and hang out with them and everything. But once again, that was a little overwhelming being around so many people. And then I was just up at this small little town up in the mountains. And of course, I made friends with a bunch of the locals there. So I was hanging out with all of them. So, and now I got my family coming in town. So once my family leaves and I check out of this house, I actually have to go to California because I have another really dear friend of mine that is going through cancer right now. And he has no friends and family over there. So he's got to start chemo and all that. So I'm actually going out to California, and I'm going to stay out there in his area for about 2 to 3 weeks to take him to chemo appointments and his doctor appointments and stuff. But then after I get finished helping him out there, I'm going back into seclusion.
Yeah.
For a while.
You'll be ready for that by then with all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I already kind of know where I'm going and all that stuff too. So I never announce where I'm going, and you just have to wait till the videos come out, and then the videos are like 3 to 4 weeks behind. So that all goes with my safety thing right there. So I'm like, when my video comes out, I've already been gone from that place like 3 or 4 weeks, you know, so.
Good. Yeah.
That's smart.
So if people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
So my YouTube channel is Wondering Jeepsy. So Jeepsy, as you see in the name right there. And then my Instagram is Wondering_Jeepsy. Those are really my only 2 social media platforms. I had Facebook, but my Facebook got hacked in November, and Facebook refused to give me back my page. So no more Facebook.
What?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my YouTube, my Google, and my Facebook all got hacked by the same people at the same time. Google and YouTube, I got my accounts back from them in less than 24 hours. And Facebook, I fought with them and argued with them for months and months and months and months. Even sent them my birth certificate, a driver's license picture, everything. And they refused to give me my page back, even my memories, like almost 20 years of videos and pictures and memories. They refused to give me any of it.
It took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get it back. It was a nightmare.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
I hate people. Ugh. Yep.
Do better, Facebook.
Do better. Steal people's crap.
I was so mad. I was going to drive out there to their headquarters, and I was going to do a live video from their headquarters.
That would have
demanding
been
my
amazing.
memories back.
I want
That
my
would have
memory.
been amazing. I love it.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for being on tonight, and thank you for sharing such, intimate details about your life and your story. And you really are an inspiration, and we're really glad we were able to talk to you tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I can't wait to meet you ladies. So in September.
We'll hide you from the people. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have your number now, so I'll text you as soon as I get out there.
Absolutely. Text me anytime, sweetie. Anytime.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, thank you all for watching tonight, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks again, Sarah, for joining us, and have everybody have safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon.